Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in to my super chat. Thank you so very much. You give me every incentive to rock these live streams. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump. Well, let me just read you what President Trump wrote today. Let me just read you what the President of the United States wrote, and we can start off from there. I've been trying to do more uploads lately, and I miss you guys, so I wanted to do this live stream this morning. There's a reason we're suddenly hearing, well, not suddenly, but for the past couple of weeks, that the Mueller probe is ending. A top attorney at the Mueller probe, known for his partisan bias, known for being very close to the Democratic Party, has left. We have former FBI agents whose transcripts show that the Justice Department under President Obama, struck a deal, an actual deal with Madam Secretary's attorneys, not to look at evidence, not to look at emails. We're finding out that Lisa Page already wanted to indict Madam Secretary. We're finding out that James Baker, the top FBI legal counsel, wanted to indict. We're finding out a whole bunch of things. And today, and when the IG says, well, there was no evidence of bias, the prosecutors weren't given any evidence. They had no idea how she transferred classified data onto servers outside of the United States government. They had no clue. That's the issue. But this is what President Trump wrote today. New evidence that the Obama era of the FBI, DOJ, and CIA were working together to spy on and take out President Trump all the way back in 2015. What I keep saying, GCHQ in 2015. A transcript of Peter Strzok's testimony is devastating. Hopefully the Mueller report will be covering this. I love that so much. Hopefully the Mueller report will be covering this. For some reason, something tells me the Mueller report ain't going to be covering it. But so you have that, which is hilarious. New evidence. Okay, so if there was knowingly and acknowledged to be zero crime when the special counsel, and that's what also Lisa Page and Peter Strzok stated, they had no clue if the Steele dossier was accurate. That's why William Barr is looking into this right now. They already know. Do you think, this is the thing? I don't have any source telling me anything. I don't. I look at public record knowledge, and I'm giving you my analysis from public record knowledge. I don't have, a secret source anywhere. But if you look at public record knowledge, do you think that William Barr was chosen by Trump to be a Sessions 2.0? No. And nobody did their part. Some things are just bad. Sometimes bad things happen. There's not always a silver lining in everything. I totaled my car. Well, I guess you could learn that, you should drive safer or whatever. But sometimes people make mistakes. You learn from your mistakes. The only silver lining with Sessions is that Trump learned that he had to get somebody like Barr. And now he's on the offensive more so than ever. So if there was knowingly and acknowledged to be zero crime when the special counsel was appointed, and if the appointment was made based on the fake dossier paid for by crooked Hillary, and now disgraced Andrew McCabe, he and all stated no crime, then the special counsel should never have been appointed. I've been saying this for 2 years. I have been saying this for 2 years. There should never have been, absolutely never have been an appointment. Mark H, thank you. Mark H, thank you. There should never have been an appointment. I've been saying that forever. There should never have been a special counsel. There was no need for a special counsel. There should never have been a special counsel. And furthermore, when you have a Steele dossier that was purchased by Hillary Clinton, that alone should have ended any probe into Trump. If all they had was a compilation of gossip, just gossip. I'll give you a little bit of Maryland there. If all they had was gossip, why start an investigation? Why? Obviously, War, thank you. Obviously, to set up and frame President Trump. Obviously. That's what it's about. This is a fraud that was committed. There are laws against fraudulent investigations. You can't simply hide behind bureaucracy. You can't simply hide behind your post, your bureaucratic post, and say, well, you can't really prove anything. We can't prove anything, but we're going to investigate anyway. Doesn't work like that. Converter Rockstone, hello. Exactly. MMA Fighter 38, exactly. And why do you think Trump is so overt he clowned Sessions like 15, 16 times on Twitter, but now he's on the offensive regarding, hey, this is all a setup. And even Democrats know it was a setup and they do not care. They don't care. Democrats pretend to be the smartest people in the room, but they are only after political influence and power. That's it. That's it. Should never have been appointed. There should be no Mueller report. This was an illegal and conflicted investigation in search of a crime. Russian collusion was nothing more than an excuse by the Democrats for losing an election that they thought they were going to win. Exactly. Exactly. And you have an actual consent agreement. You have consent agreements with between Hillary Clinton and the administration that was investigating her. You have consent agreements between the FBI and Clinton where they had to they could only look at certain emails and not other emails. That's, it's unbelievable. Let's look at Paul Sperry today. Paul Sperry. James Comey sent his agents to seize the Trump Tower server the Democrats falsely claim was a back channel with a Russian bank, but he never seized the DNC servers that Dems claimed was hacked by Trump and Putin to conduct his own forensic investigation to confirm claim. The claims have never been confirmed by the United States government. Exactly. Exactly. The claims have never been confirmed. Never been confirmed. Breaking. This is Paul Sperry, DOJ IG Horowitz. Well, I'm not so interested in the IG reports because they're, aside from indicting Andrew McCabe, which will happen, they're not. They're kind of, they try to be as docile or as neutral as possible. Horowitz is investigating who in the senior ranks of the FBI and DOJ, including Rosenstein and Yates, knew Bruce Orr was back channeling anti-Trump dirt from Steele to the FBI after Steele was terminated by the FBI as a confidential source. Orr is fully cooperating in the probe. Ladies and gentlemen, people are going to get indicted. You know. They're going to get indicted because this was massive. This is an overreaching, grandiose cover-up. Grandiose. Matthew Rosenfeld, Matthew, thank you. Matthew, thank you for always watching, Matthew. Thank you. It's an overarching cover-up. Overreaching and overarching cover-up. And it's like in front of everyone's eyes. Breaking. McCabe was under grand jury investigation for lying about leaking in early 2007, ordered FBI inspection division to open internal probe into who leaked to Sarah Carter and John Solomon. Wow, it's Circa News that McCabe had made disparaging remarks about General Flynn in staff meetings. Wow. Wow. You're talking about a crooked person in Andrew McCabe. And then this is a week back. Breaking. McCabe investigated not just Trump, but Sessions too. Ordering the Sessions probe was another unprecedented, quote, unprecedented partisan action that has been forgotten. So it hasn't been forgotten, but it's unprecedented. I believe Stephanie Parker. Thank goodness it's Friday. Love your backdrop, HA. We need good old-fashioned indictments. Exactly. Stephanie, thank you. Thank you, Stephanie Parker. Thank you. The Yahtzee. New message from when they go low, we go to AJ's channel. Please. Well, the Yahtzee, as you can see, when they go low, go high, look at there, and that means this, and that means that. Well, thank you, the Yahtzee. Stephanie Parker, the Yahtzee. I love those channels too. They're like, as you can see, this means that. Let's look up that. And then we can say, oh yeah, all right, okay, 500,000 views. Like, what? Mitchell Smith. The Muller team is basically the same prosecutorial team on the Enron case. I know. Yeah, pretty much. Very good point. Very good point. Mueller was the FBI director. The case was overturned 9-0 in Supreme Court. It was all about damage control. The damage was irrecoverable. Exactly. Converter Rockstone. Thank you. Mitchell Smith. The thing with, you know what? I was a financial advisor back then. I actually purchased an Enron stock right before it tanked because like a stock certificate. I have it just to remind myself of all like how corruption and because that was viewed as an amazing company. Eric H526, have a fantastic day and wonderful weekend, HA. Thank you, Eric H526. Thank you, Eric, for everything. Mitchell Smith. It's unbelievable the amount of corruption that it's kind of like they can't stop this criminal behavior, and they can't even focus on the criminal behavior, so they have to just hide evidence. And the Enron case was pretty well. That's a whole other story, but The Smartest People in the Room was an interesting documentary. The only thing that I don't like about it is that when when the Bernie Madoff, Enron, when all of those, whether it's the savings and loan scandals of the 80s, when you have all of these horrendous financial crimes, after everything's uncovered, people are like, oh yeah, everybody was so corrupt, but nobody wanted to blow the whistle. Nobody wanted to. No, everybody was in on the ride. Everyone was in. Bernie Madoff was a former SEC, Securities Exchange Commission chairman, wasn't he? Let me see. Bernie Madoff, former SEC. He was a former NASDAQ chairman. Bernie Madoff, the former NASDAQ chairman. Okay. So it's like Enron. Let's look at the Enron overturned. Unanimous Supreme Court overturns Andersen conviction. I love how they try to go after Andersen, which probably had something. I mean, let's put it this way: they went after anyone near Enron when Enron was committing all of these felonies in plain sight. Andersen conviction overturned. Top court rules jury instructions flawed in Enron shredding case. Other Enron cases to proceed. The Supreme Court Tuesday unanimously threw out the conviction of accounting firm Arthur Andersen, a symbolic victory for a nearly defunct company torn apart in a document shredding case involving the fallen energy giant Enron. In a 9-0 opinion, the justice concluded that jury instructions at issue simply failed to convey the requisite consciousness of wrongdoing. Chief Justice William Rehnquist, wrote opinion saying, indeed, it is striking how little culpability the instructions require. The ruling is a major defeat for the federal government in its aggressive effort to fight corporate wrongdoing. So they can't even get a conviction in Enron, which is the most overt financial corruption case. Although some experts say it wouldn't significantly hamper future prosecutions, the Justice Department said it was disappointed by the decision. The conviction had eventually forced Arthur Andersen out of business. The company, which is down to a couple of hundred employees handling the remaining legal issues facing it, said it was pleased by the decision, even if it did nothing to bring the former Big Five accounting firm back to life. So in its case, the Justice Department likened Andersen's actions to shredding its smoking guns. Okay. It just shows how dysfunctional. Justices unanimously overturned conviction of Arthur Andersen. So they didn't. I guess the issue here is the government didn't have enough evidence, so they skirted around legal precedent and tried to convict just for the image of a conviction, when it didn't even help prevent future collapses. This was in 2005, and then in 2008 and 2009 you had the financial collapse. So with a brief, pointed, and unanimous opinion, the Supreme Court on Tuesday overturned Arthur Andersen's conviction for shredding Enron accounting documents as the company was collapsing in one of the nation's biggest corporate scandals. The court held that the trial judge's instructions to the jury failed to require the necessary proof that Andersen knew its actions were wrong. But the decision represents little more than a Pyrrhic victory for Andersen, which lost its clients after being indicted on obstruction of justice charges and has no chance of returning as a viable enterprise. I love the obstruction of justice charges for Arthur Andersen, but no obstruction of justice for Clinton, who deleted 33,000 emails. Revco, hello. So All of these, like, they're interested only in convictions, but not preventing actual corruption. You have the Mueller probe attorney leaving. You have all of this information coming out. And you have William Barr, who's a new attorney general. Oh, I love this. What is this? Hold on. Graham says he'll probe the 25th Amendment discussions between 1 hour ago. Exactly. House votes almost unanimously for public release of Mueller report. Who cares? Not going to do it. You don't release information for people who aren't indicted. If Trump isn't indicted because he didn't commit a crime, it's very different from Clinton not getting indicted, which she did commit crimes. Clinton committed crimes, she didn't get indicted, and they're like, well, she was exonerated. No, she committed crimes. Comey said that she didn't mean to do them, to commit them. Trump not only didn't commit crimes, he didn't mean to not commit any crimes. There was no intent regarding the lack of criminal behavior, if that makes any sense. There was no intent because there was no criminal behavior with Trump. With Clinton, there's criminal behavior, and of course there's intent, but they hide behind intent. Graham says he'll probe 25th Amendment discussions between McCabe, Rosenstein. Yes. Yes. Senate Judiciary Lindsey Graham is demanding answers from the Justice Department about a former FBI Director, Andrew McCabe's allegations that top officials were discussed invoking the 25th Amendment to remove President Donald Trump from office. Andrew McCabe. This is not good. The indictments need to start with Andrew McCabe. This guy, that's, it just seems like it's like so dysfunctional. Like, you have the Justice Department serving as an extension of the political party or an extension of what the prevailing political mentality wants. So they went after Arthur Andersen, fine. They couldn't even get a conviction, even though almost certainly Arthur Andersen was part of the wrongdoing. They got them, they tried to get them on shredding documents, which perhaps there's a legal, perhaps there are legal scenarios where shredding documents is okay, which I believe there is. They couldn't even get a conviction on that. Meanwhile, Enron takes billions of dollars and tens of thousands of employees' 401ks with them. People are left without any retirement, and the government does nothing to protect people in the future. And 3 years later, there's a huge financial collapse. So the government did nothing to protect the citizens. Absolutely nothing by going after Arthur Andersen. Nothing. At best, they were helping Enron hide the corruption. But it was Enron that was actually committing felonies in plain sight by cooking its books without the help of Arthur Andersen. Then they go after Trump because the prevailing mentality is, oh, well, Russia collusion. Meanwhile, President Obama could have vetoed the sale of 20% of U.S. uranium to Russia, and he doesn't. How does that work? Conservative to the core. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, HA, just to thank you. Conservative to the core, thank you. And thank you for always watching. I agree with that. Trump holding all the aces up his sleeve. I do agree with that. Conservative to the core, thank you. Raw, I agree with that. Okay, I missed the super chat. Oh, legendary Dave! Thank you, Revco. HA, it's all starting to happen and the pace is picking up. Yep, not just a hook, but a setup of political campaign as insurance. I know. Legendary Dave, thank you. It's so overt. You know how I know it's so overt? You know how I know it's so overt? Because sometimes I look at the most hardcore partisans. Legendary Dave, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Legendary Dave. Sometimes I look at the most hard, like the equivalents. Well, the equivalent of me. I don't view myself as a partisan necessarily, even though I definitely am, because I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet. Now I'm a Trump supporter. That shows critical thinking. It doesn't show that I'm this blind partisan. Because if I was way on the left, I would have stayed on the left and not even open my vantage point to the fact that Trump is a very good president. So, in one sense, my name is still used on Twitter to actually clown other people, which is hilarious. Like they use my name as an insult, which is hilarious. They're calling people, "You're the next H.A. Goodman. You're another H.A. Goodman," as a disparaging insult, which is funny. Okay, so and this is the left utilizing my name to demean and to insult people on the left they disagree with, which is hilarious. But everyone knows that it was a setup beyond belief. Thank you, Legendary Dave, again. Everyone knows it was a setup beyond belief. Conservative to the core, thank you. Everyone knows it was a setup, and the hilarious thing is that they're not talking about Russia collusion now. They're not talking about Russia collusion. They're not. Then they're talking about now release the report. He ain't going to release no report. You think that William Barr is going to rewrite the report? Hello? William Barr is going to rewrite the report. It's exactly today's tomorrow. It's HADS. HA derangement syndrome. Spread it around. People have HADS, HA derangement syndrome. They have HA derangement syndrome. It's so true. It's so true. It is so true. I got HA. And so Graham says he'll probe 25th Amendment discussion between McCabe and Rosenstein. Senate Judiciary Lindsey Graham is demanding answers from the Justice Department about former FBI Director Andrew McCabe's allegation that the top officials were there discussed. So let's look at the 25th Amendment. So in a letter to William Barr on Friday today, Graham said his panel intends to investigate. So let's look at all of this, okay? Today you have a letter. Let's just count all these investigations. Today you have a letter from Lindsey Graham regarding Andrew McCabe and the 25th Amendment that was discussed by Rod Rosenstein, where they both were like, "You want me to wear a wire?" Mr. President, how are you? So that's number one. It's a 25th Amendment probe. Okay. Number two, we have transcripts. Well, forget, we won't even get to that yet. Lindsey Graham is going to discuss Clinton's emails, investigate Clinton's email again, Clinton's email scandal debacle again. He's going to get people. What did Graham say? He's going to get people. Oh, that's right. He wanted a special counsel. I did a segment on that. He was on Fox News calling for a special counsel. Graham wants a special counsel to investigate all of these issues. So you have, and then you have the origins of Trump Russia, like the beginning of all of this, not just the 25th Amendment, but the Steele dossier and Bruce Orr. They're looking into that right now. Then the Office of Professional Responsibility at the FBI is looking at James Comey and Peter Strzok. Andrew McCabe is under criminal investigation. James Baker is under criminal investigation. Lisa Page's transcripts spilled the beans on everybody. And then you have a Mueller report that's going to exonerate Trump, that the Democrats are going to focus on for 2 years, and they'll lose the election. By the way, I think Madam Secretary Clinton is going to run. You know that. Everyone knows that. And that's it. It's just like, hold on one second. So, yeah, I mean, Lisa Page told everything. Basically told everything. Everything. President Trump today kind of, he's being more, he's more bold now. The report, the Mueller report, my God, is going to be, it's so hilarious. So hilarious too. Trump said there should be no, exactly. Trump said, this is CNBC, Trump said there should be no Mueller report a day after House unanimously votes to make it public. They found nothing. If this is a true national security risk to the planet, to the country, then you either say, hey, Trump committed these crimes and it's public record knowledge. Where's the public record knowledge? You already had indictments. Where's the public record knowledge? There's no public record knowledge. There's just no public record knowledge. And I'm telling you, the corruption, ladies and gentlemen, there's too much corruption. They had the full weight of the United States government, and they still couldn't. They still couldn't. They still couldn't do anything. They still couldn't do anything. They had nothing. They had nothing on Trump. Revco! By the way, congrats, Revco. The wedding is soon. Congratulations again. If there was anything in the report, it would have been exactly. I think I tried to. I think I mentioned that. Did I mention that? That is so on point. They tried a coup, and now the counter coup is starting. The counter. Yeah. They tried to get Trump out. See, the thing is, they've already brainwashed. They've already kind of manipulated the views of so many people. So they got what they wanted. Democrats truly believe that Trump worked with Russia to buy Facebook ads to swing the election. Date is April 1st. Oh, nice. Congratulations again. Everybody wish Revco a happy congratulations for the wedding. Congratulations, Revco. Congratulations. The Ides of March. Ides of March today. Beware the Ides of March. You think something will happen today, HA? If not, buy a beer for the super chat. The Yahtzee. Thank you, as always, for supporting my voice in this channel. The Yahtzee. The Yahtzee, I just think that I think that indictments will start with McCabe, and then they'll just once McCabe gets indicted, it's game over because he'll spill the beans on James Comey. Then they'll go after James Comey. Then he'll spill the beans on Hillary. Well, they'll all spill the beans on Hillary. See, the whole point is she had all these spinning plates. All these spinning plates. And she had all these spinning plates. Well, no, there's already a probe of James Comey, Office of Professional Responsibility. There's already a probe right now ongoing pertaining to his use of the Steele dossier and McCabe's use of the Steele dossier. William Barr is already doing all of these things. I think that today's announcement on Twitter from Trump, I think it makes that official. I think that it makes that official. But hold on one second. He is beginning a probe of James Comey and former FBI officials. He is. And he's begun the probe already. Let's see. So there was knowingly and acknowledged to be zero crime when the special counsel was appointed. And if the appointment was made based on a fake dossier paid for by crooked Hillary and now disgraced Andrew McCabe, he and all stated no crime. The special counsel should never have been appointed. And if you look, Paul Sperry, you look at Paul Sperry Twitter, James Comey sent his agents to seize Trump Tower server that Democrats falsely claimed was back-channeling with a Russian bank, but he never seized the DNC server that Dems claimed was hacked by Trump and Putin to conduct his own forensics analysis. Breaking: DOJ IG Horowitz is investigating who in the senior ranks of the FBI? James Comey, including Rosenstein and Yates. Knew Bruce Orr was back-channeling investigate anti-Trump dirt from Steele to FBI after Steele was terminated by FBI as a confidential source. Orr is cooperating fully in the probe. There is absolutely an investigation into what James Comey is doing, did. Breaking: DOJ Horowitz is investigating who is in the ranks. This is Paul Sperry. So who DOJ IG Horowitz is investigating who is in the senior ranks of the FBI. James Comey. James Comey was head of the FBI. There you go. Right there. In addition to the fact that Lindsey Graham wants to begin a probe into Andrew McCabe and Rod Rosenstein. So March 13th, breaking: DOJ Horowitz is investigating who in the senior ranks of the FBI and DOJ, including Rosenstein and Yates, knew Bruce Orr was back-channeling. James Comey knew. He's part of the He's a part of the former FBI officials being investigated. So there you go. Knew Bruce Orr was back-channeling anti-Trump dirt from Steele to the FBI. Sometimes you don't necessarily. This is public record source information. Public record. I don't have like a super secret source telling me, but it's obvious that William Barr is beginning the investigation into all of these officials, especially James Comey. It's obvious. If the IG is looking into the senior ranks of the FBI and DOJ, who's in the senior ranks? James Comey, including Rosenstein and Yates. Then you have today, that's March 13th. Then you have today, Lindsey Graham saying he wants to investigate Andrew McCabe, and Rosenstein. So if that's not good enough for certain people, it's not my problem. But and this is the other. This is James Comey breaking. James Comey sent his agents to seize the Trump Tower server that Democrats falsely claimed was back channeling with a Russian bank, but he never seized the DNC server that Dems claimed was hacked by Trump and Putin to conduct his own forensic investigation to confirm claim. Paul Sperry. No, this is stuff I've been talking about for long before that. McCabe was on a grand jury investigation for lying about leaking in early 2017, ordered FBI inspection division to open internal probes. Wow, into 2 journalists. And he ordered an internal probe into Sessions. McCabe investigated not just Trump, but Sessions too. Ordering the Sessions probe was another unprecedented partisan action that has been forgotten, said former federal prosecutor Solomon Weisenberg. Papa D! New TV show, The Enemy Within. First show after the pilot started about 10 minutes in. At 12 minutes, they show simple traffic analysis example. Spot on. HRC opened this to spies everywhere. Good for years, unlike classified docs. Wow. Wow. That's true. That's true. Hillary Clinton. Papa D. Papa D. That's true. You've stated that a while now, and it's true. I wouldn't even go that. I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but you're probably 100% right. That's one of the reasons I believe that Clinton will eventually get indicted. I just think that you can't have a functioning country with people who have a servers outside of the United States government transferring top secret intelligence onto those servers. I can't imagine William Barr not investigating James Comey when the IG is beginning investigations of senior FBI informants, FBI officials. Lindsey Graham wants a probe of the 25th Amendment, and he wants a special counsel. Papa D, thank you so very much. Papa D, thank you. Thank you. Mitchell Smith, James Comey book, A Higher Loyalties, an autobiography. Narcissist loyalty is always self-serving. Yep. Exactly. Mitchell Smith. Exactly. 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 It's just a higher loyalty. It's like he has no shame. Everybody knows it was the biggest cover-up. It was the biggest and most overt cover-up. It was the biggest and most overt cover-up. Jazzman, hello. The biggest and most overt cover-up. It's like unbelievable. Any investigation into any FBI official, you're going to have all of them being investigated essentially. So I do think that the first indictment will be Andrew McCabe. Exactly. It should be a hired loyalty. Exactly. Andrew McCabe then spills the beans on Comey and everyone else, which helps the Office of Professional Responsibilities already investigating Comey. And the Justice Department is already investigating Comey's leaking of classified intelligence within the Comey memos. Exactly. Revco, exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Papa D. Papa D, thank you. I mean, you could be right about that. Papa D, thank you. That could be the case. No. Those are my theories. Those are my theories. Everything that I have been saying for 2 years, suddenly you saw on message boards. So the whole Q thing, they stole from me and, well, Judicial Watch. Well, me, John Solomon, Sarah Carter, Dan Bongino. We've been talking about this for, like, I was writing about all of this in the Hill, the Huffington Post salon. So, and almost every single one of my segments repeats the same things over again, that Clinton will eventually get indicted. Then you had a message board that comes out and says, oh, the Gitmo, whatever, which that's ridiculous. It wouldn't be Gitmo. There would never be tribunals for American citizens. That is ridiculous. That is like, you wouldn't want that. That's like, you wouldn't want that at all. So that would make no sense as well. And anyway, the whole point, like, spy agents within the US government speaking through HN is the most absurd notion. Anyway, you know my thoughts on it. Hit subscribe. Thank you so very much. I'll be back today. Check the upload right after this to my super chat. Thank you so very much. Investigations have begun, ladies and gentlemen. James Comey is being investigated as we speak. Andrew McCabe's already under criminal investigation. James Baker's already under criminal investigation. And Bruce Orr is already cooperating, according to Paul Sperry. Lindsey Graham wants to begin probes into the 25th Amendment regarding Rod Rosenstein. Lisa Page and Peter Strzok already spilled the beans on everything to do with Comey. President Trump today is saying that it shouldn't even be a Mueller report. All of this leads back to James Comey. It is my belief, I don't have any source, but it's my belief that the Justice Department is already investigating James Comey. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very, very much.